feeling is here.
Yeah, son, you feel it, man. Word up, son. You gotta just do it, yo.
Yeah,
yo, word up, man. It's a different channel, son. Word up, on, man. Word up, watch the channel, son. Different plane now, man.
It's all good.
Word up, all good, baby, in every hood, son. Word up, yo.
CNN, Network, Channel 10. It's on again. Street niggas is grown men. Bold face, got in your face. Stay in place, yo, crime lace. Cats more beef than Scarface.
Call is now being recorded.
Network, Channel 10. It's on again.
What up, what up? Channel 10 Podcast. Channel10podcast.com. All of that and all of that. Check it out. Me and Singard, we were just talking about various things dealing with eating and food and all that. So you were saying that you were talking about how potatoes get a bad rap.
Yeah. I've noticed that the various, sites that I've visited and news articles that I've read, it's like potatoes, they really, for the most part, they get kind of like this bad rap as being like really super starchy and whatnot. But the thing is, though, if you look into like, the nutrients that potatoes have, it has like a lot of potassium and, the skin alone has, different types of vitamins, like I think vitamin E and so on and so forth. And also it has a lot of fiber. And I'm not entirely sure, but since, French fries are like a really big thing in the American diet, they're really popular. Maybe that's something to do with it. And of course, stuff like French fries are linked to obesity because of McDonald's and so on and so forth. But sometimes, well, a lot of times, I start my day off with like a bowl of potato salad, and of course it's not like a big heaping bowl, but it's I guess a kind of a mid-sized bowl, and it has potatoes that are boiled down to a certain extent, eggs that have like your vitamin B12 and different types of proteins, raw onion, and raw like red bell peppers. And I kind of mix it all up because I'm trying to have more of a balance. So I'm trying to strike, I guess, kind of like a balance of like, something that's kind of cooked to a certain extent, like boiled down a little bit, but then still have like, these raw vegetables that are in it. So, like eating like a raw onion is like really good for you. It cleans you out and stuff like that. And so I try to have these pieces that are raw that give me like, straight vitamins, and then I have this potato that is giving me like a lot of potassium to my brain to kind of jumpstart my brain for the day, while also giving me some protein as well and filling me up at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a really good plan. And, when it comes to potatoes, I've kind of thought the same way about that, and they do get a bad rap. And I always look at it as, there's whole cultures and civilizations that have survived off of potatoes. When you look at, like, Ireland for a time.
Yeah.
It's like, if you have all these people who can live off of a potato, it must be a great vegetable, just a great food or whatever. And not only that, it fills you up, and it's interesting because like how I make my big pots of vegetables. So what I'll do is I'll get like different vegetable mixes from the market or whatever. So I might get like one mixed vegetables that has like string beans and carrots and maybe like a little bit of corn and stuff in it. Then I'll get another one with like Asian vegetables, and I get like all these different varieties, and I mix them up in a pot. And then what I usually do is I'll throw some potatoes in there as well, and I'll leave the skin on. And and the potato part, because of I either use potatoes or beans or both. And that's the filling part, and then you're getting other nutrients from all of the vegetables. And depends on what type of mood I'm in, depends on, I might cook it. Well, I usually cook the potatoes a little bit more, but the rest of the vegetables, I might just heat them up a little bit, just so that they're not frozen. Or I might actually, cook them so that they're a little bit more mushy and stuff like that, I try to switch it up. Sometimes it'll be a little bit more raw. Sometimes it won't. So I try to mix up different colors and different varieties, and especially with beans. Like I just made a pot of vegetables now, and it has red kidney beans, it has white great northern beans, it has black beans, and it has some other type of bean in there. And then it has, broccoli and various vegetables and mushrooms and stuff. And it's like, I feel like I'm getting a balance of vegetables from all of that, and then the flavors of everything mixing together, and the beans and the potatoes, they can soak up the flavors from the vegetables. And even if you are boiling it, I feel like the nutrients that you lose from certain vegetables when you boil them, they go into the water and then get soaked up by the potatoes, so you're getting even more nutrients from the potatoes. So
well, I will say that one thing is I'm not the best at like mixing different vegetables up, because I'm a simple person, so I tend to stay with like the same stuff that I eat in the first place. So like the main things that I always have is brown rice, potatoes, spinach, onion, and black beans. And black beans, I guess, are kind of new, but they have like a lot of protein, since I'm not really eating fish like that anymore, like I used to. But that dark, they have like a lot of antioxidants in it too. So I'm trying to make sure I get my antioxidants in at the same time while I'm trying to get something that has like a lot of protein in it. But then I think a lot of times even rice to a certain extent gets a bad rap too, because if you look, the same thing with the potato and Ireland, rice has sustained so many different cultures for thousands of years, and they don't have this issue with obesity and these different types of diseases that we have over here, in the Western world. And I think the simple thing I think the main thing about eating for real is that it really comes down to how much you eat. So I don't have a big ass bowl of rice all the damn time. Sometimes I do. I don't have anything else in my house, and I haven't gone to the market yet. But then I mix it with some beans or something like that. But
yeah, I love mixing rice and beans, and I throw in some cayenne pepper in it and some stuff like that. And that's a real good, quick vegan meal. And I know I'm getting something that has a lot of fiber and some protein and some other things, and it'll get me through a couple hours of the day just off of a relatively small bowl of it.
Yeah, and I think I told you this one time. Like I went to a Subway. I was on my lunch break at work, and I don't know. I'm assuming, I think he was Indian, and he noticed that I got like the veggies light thing with like wheat bread and all that type of shit. And so he asked if I was like a vegetarian or whatever, and so I said, yeah, in so many words I am. And then he asked me, what do I do, and asked me if I could give him some pointers, because he said that he had like a belly, which he did, and he said he was trying to lose it. It wasn't like a big blown out belly. It was like one of those weird looking kind of top bellies. I can't explain it. It was weird looking. But I asked him his diet, and he said he really eats like a lot of rice. And I don't know. I guess too much of anything can kill you, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes, but I looked at him, and he seemed like a really healthy man, though. Outside of the belly, but he seemed healthier than a lot of people I've seen walking around that area. I'm not saying I'm the most healthy person in the world, but I'm just saying, compared to all the other types of things you could probably be eating, I don't think rice is that bad. But then I know carbs and all this other type of stuff, and then I'm pretty sure he was much older than what I am, and so his metabolism is slowed down probably, which probably has a lot to do with his rice intake and what it's doing to him.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the type of lifestyle you live, and if you're sedentary, the different foods are going to have a different effect on you. And I always go back to this one Combat Jack episode where before they got into the interview, they had some type of trainer on there talking about, you know, if all you do is, you know, sit in the office all day and don't get any real exercise, exercise, and you really don't have any business eating anything other than a salad. And, like, you know, I've noticed that my weight has gone up, and I've put on some fat in the past couple weeks, pretty much ever since Freddie Gray died. I've been, for some reason, just eating a lot of, like, fries and stuff like that. And I haven't been exercising as much. I've fallen off of my exercise regimen. So this week, actually, I'm going back to my no processed foods, just my straight vegetable pot, and, you know, exercise and everything like that. And it's like, you know, you can eat all the healthy food, but, you know, and that's, you know, a big component of it, but you also have to exercise. And through exercise, you know, your testosterone goes up, your metabolism increases, and, you know, all these other benefits, you know, happen from it. So that's another important part of it.
I mean, that's true. And, you know, like, listening to, like, the Joe Rogan podcast, you know, I've always known this, and, you know, like, the whole thing about eating, like, flour and shit, like, things that are based around some type of flour and processing and stuff like that. And I think, I guess of course, alcohol is processed, you know, with the grains and stuff like that. But outside of that, you know, sometimes, you know, I get, you know, like, the vegan cheese and shit like that. Like shredded cheese or whatever. Outside of that, for real, I get like tortillas. Because, you know, they're good to, you know, wrap up, you know, like rice, beans, and like some tomatoes and stuff like that and eat it. And it kind of adds to the proteins too. And then, you know, between, you know, like the rice and the black beans on top of like the wheat, you're getting like a really full balance, you know, like a really balanced protein out of that too. And then also you put some spinach in there and tomato, or you're pretty good for the most part. But like I'm thinking about I'm trying to cut back on that because, you know, since I'm getting kind of an age, you know, if my metabolism like starts going down, and this is my theory. If I keep at the rate of, you know, how I'm eating tortillas or the bread period, since, you know, I'm kind of like a big bread eater, I'm pretty sure I'll fuck around and get like a belly or something like that. So I've been thinking about it, but
I don't know. I think you still walk a lot, right?
Well, yes, that's the thing. That's the only good thing about not having a car is that you got to walk. And so, like, when I go to the market, I walk. And so I'm carrying, you know, like, I'm carrying a 5-pound bag, you know, a 5-pound thing of, like, potatoes and other shit back and forth.
Yeah, I think, honestly, and I was listening to this one chick on the Joe Rogan podcast, and she was talking about how, like, she doesn't even work out, but she's, like, this fitness expert. And I guess kinetic, I forget exactly what it is, some type of kinetic fitness type thing. And basically, instead of like going to the gym, because even if you like go to the gym and you work out for like an hour every day, you're still living a sedentary lifestyle because it's not really natural to just sit all day and then go and get this burst of exercise. You really have to incorporate it into your daily life. So, you know, doing things like walking to the market and then carrying real weight and working out, you know, your functional strength muscles and stuff like that. Like, you know, you can become functionally stronger doing that than somebody with big muscles who, you know, is only targeting certain muscle groups and stuff like that. You're getting like more of a full body workout, and your metabolism and testosterone is probably higher than a lot of people. And then one thing that you can do to boost that is take a zinc supplement, because I think zinc aids in the production of testosterone.
Well, I mean, I think, this is only because I think between, like, you know, like, whenever I think of, like, testosterone, I think of, like, sex drive and shit like that.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And between, like, like all these aphrodisiacs. So apparently, you know, we had a conversation about this too. I think on one of the podcast episodes, and
yeah, we did.
Everything seems to be like everything's a damn aphrodisiac, and so damn near everything in my refrigerator or like on my counter in a bowl is a fucking aphrodisiac. So I think I'm good.
I mean, I think the thing is, from a holistic standpoint, like, you know, if your sexual functions aren't functioning, then there's probably something that's off with you in other areas and stuff like that. So I think, you know, when things, and this is like kind of my theory, I think when things are touted as being an aphrodisiac, it just means that it's just really healthy and it's going to increase your sexual function because it's increasing the general function of your body, and that's just a regular function of your body. So, you know, if your body is not working right, then your sexual function isn't going to work right. And, you know, testosterone isn't just for that, but it's also for, you know, muscle production and regulating all kind of other functions that, you know, happen in your body and stuff like that. So,
yeah, that's true.
I guess, you know, I try to, like, you know, there's all these studies and all this other type of stuff that's going on. I just try to keep things as simple as possible in my mind. So, like, I figure if you know, if for some reason I can't get it up in the bedroom or something like that, then probably something's off with my diet. And if I go and seek out things that are touted as aphrodisiacs, it's probably going to add some type of balance to my system to where everything is going to be working right, including that, because a lot of that has to do with blood flow.
Yeah, well, that's what I would do it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like, even like, I mean, these studies, I don't know about, I guess over time, of course, you get to, you know, you understand and learn certain things, right? But, for example, like oatmeal. Now, oatmeal is kind of being deemed as kind of like, you know, a bad thing. It's like, it's too starchy. It's too many empty calories and shit like that.
Mm.
And it's kind of crazy to think that, you know, like, people are worried about a bowl of oatmeal in the morning nowadays. And I kind of bought into it to a certain extent because, you know, I do live a really, you know, I guess a laid-back lifestyle. You know, my career at this point, it revolves around me sitting on my ass and looking at a screen for 8 hours at a time.
Right.
So I think, you know, like the way I'm living right now, it really kind of makes me more paranoid when it comes to certain studies and stuff like that. But then I do walk quite a bit.
Yeah, and then I always question when people worried about some daggone oatmeal, but like, what about them pork chops that you about to eat for dinner?
Very true.
Or like, you know, so it's just like, I don't know, I just try to keep things real simple. And you know, I was talking to somebody recently, and they were kind of coming at me about the whole vegan thing, and you know, why would you do this and blah 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 blah, and you're gonna die anyway, and all that type of stuff. And I kind of had to shut that down. I was just like, look, I think that we can all agree that you should probably eat more vegetables, right? And he was like, yeah. And, you know, when you look at, yes, you're going to die anyway, but would you rather have a slow, painful, diabetes-ridden, high blood pressure-ridden descent into your death, or would you rather be fully functional, you know, knocking down walls at 60, just straight slaying these dots out here at 70 type of life? And, you know, when it comes to diet, you know, I don't even, you know, I'm on my vegan stuff, but I don't necessarily preach it like that. I'm just like, you know, because a lot of people look at it as taking away from something that they love or something that they, love to eat. But, think about it as adding more. So you can start by adding more vegetables. Eat some kale or some type of green leafy vegetable every day. Add some broccoli. Just add more vegetables. And, the way I eat is just like, let me add as many different colors of vegetables and varieties in one compact meal as I can. And, I should probably be good. It's not really processed, and, I might put, like, different herbs and spices in there that, have been shown to have some type of benefit. And it's funny because I always, like, with my girl or whatever, I make my big pot of just random mixed vegetables and stuff like that, and beans or whatever, and, she used to look at me like I was crazy, so, how could you just eat that? It looks like it tastes bad, whatever. I went over there the other day, and I brought my vegetables and stuff, and I was like, let me just cook this over here. And she was like, I might as well have some. So she had it, and she loved it. She was like, this is great. So, I gave her something to take for lunch. She did, she liked it, the way I had it, but, she did melt some butter over it. But, at the same time, she thought it was delicious. And, you can eat well, it can be delicious, and all you have to do is just add some vegetables to your life.
Well, and we've had this conversation, and, I think the main thing is that, if you do, like, become a vegetarian or vegan or whatever you want to do, it does kind of come to a point that if you really want to live, like, kind of like a healthy lifestyle, you're going to have to start cooking somehow, some way, because you can't depend on, these weird, like, frozen vegetarian, like the black bean burgers that come, like, they're frozen all the time because, they're high in salt and they're highly processed and have, half the time they have milk in them. That's something that you're trying to cut out.
Yeah.
And the way that we're living, where everyone's so busy that, you gotta try to find time to cook. And, sometimes at times I don't like cooking, I don't have anyone to take care of but myself. So sometimes I don't like doing shit either, but I think I got so used to it, and I do know that it's way easier for me to say this because, I don't have anyone to take care of, but, I understand why people don't want to cook all the time. Like, I come home with like a 5-pound bag of, russet potatoes, what I try to do is, like, if I don't have anything else to do, as soon as I come in, I rinse, 4 or 5 potatoes off, and I throw the bitches in the pot, start boiling them, and I had that bowl while I'm doing something else, so then if I do want to chop them up, I can, because they're already ready.
Yeah.
But then if I don't want to, I'll throw them in the refrigerator for the next day or something like that.
Yeah, and it's like switching your diet up, it becomes very habit changing, and it kind of affects the way that you live your life, because I was the type of person to where I would run out to McDonald's, and like right now it's coming up on 2 in the morning. If I was hungry, I would run out to McDonald's real quick and get me some type of burger. But now I think more, and I plot and plan and strategize more about my day, and it's like, all right, let me put on this pot of vegetables. It's probably going to last me a day or two. So I always know that, and, it doesn't take anything to make. I just, literally, all I do is just empty some bags into a pot, throw some various spices in there, and boil it for a little bit. And then, that way I know that when if shit hits the fan and I really don't feel like making anything, I know I have that to fall back on. But then if I do feel like doing something later on in the week, make some potatoes and, put it over some spinach with some beans and make me like a little salad or something like that, I can do that too, something that's a little bit more, intensive and time consuming. But I think you were saying before, what was it, episode 2 or something like that, chopping vegetables in grad school. Just the act of just the act of cooking and preparing food, it can be kind of relaxing and also creative as well. It can be like an outlet and an escape from, the daily hustle and bustle of life.
I mean, yeah, like, sometimes, like, if I'm just, like, in seminar, and I'm just kind of spacing out, because, like, I'm at the point now, because, like, people have been talking about, cooking, and, it seems like it's more of, like, a thing now, at least, but we all know that it's always been associated, with creativity, and how, you can express yourself through cooking, and, sometimes I found myself in seminar because I now kind of associate cooking with having a drink, because sometimes shit is boring. You're doing something repetitive, like, chopping shit up. And, at the time I have, like, a podcast when I'm drinking, I'm like, sometimes, like, in seminar, I'm like, I can't wait till I go home so I can chop these fucking potatoes up and have this fucking drink. And stuff like that. And then, sometimes sometimes I get into the habit, like, right now I'm trying to figure out how I should go about making these nori rolls. But I'm still on the fence about buying nori, because it's like $6-7 in a bag, and it doesn't seem like you get, like, a lot of it, and I'll be fucking pissed if I mess it up.
Now, what exactly is nori?
It's a type of seaweed. It's like it's big in, like, over east or whatever like that. And it seems rather easy. You have, like, a sheet of it. You put, like, different vegetables in it, and you roll it up like some type of paste that you make. And you just slice it up, you cut it up, you roll it, and you have a nori roll. The thing about me is that I'll probably fuck it up. But now I'm thinking in my head, though, if I do fuck it up, if I put, like, a sheet up, I can just throw it in, like, into a pot and make soup out of it, though. I could do that, and I'll be fine. But
yeah, that's real big, because, like, I'm real big on not wasting food.
Yeah.
So, like, even if I do mess something up, I want to figure out some type of way to remix it into something else, so that that food can still be salvaged and eaten. But yeah, I haven't been to the Asian market in a long time. I gotta go there. I'm probably gonna try to get me some nori rolls. I got a pack of spicy guacamole from Aldi the other day, and I'm trying to think of, like, I don't know what I got it for. I didn't have, like, a purpose in mind for it, but I know I'm going to do something great with it. So maybe the nori roll, I might try that and incorporate that guacamole with it.
I want to buy some wasabi, but I'm trying to figure out what I would use it for.
I guess going back to the processed food and my horrible eating habits, especially dealing with the potato recently. Yesterday I was in 7-Eleven and I saw these wasabi ginger chips. I think they were made by Lay's.
Oh,
I was
God.
like, I have to get these because I just have to know what the hell this tastes like. And I was expecting it to be horrible, but it was actually delicious. And I have never seen this anywhere else, but they were actually really good.
This is their new game. They're going to try to just throw some type of healthy-sounding shit on chips and sell it. And then you'll have vegans who will start becoming super fat.
Yeah, I see my fat coming back, which is why I got to get, back on my grind. But my girlfriend, she got this thing from Walmart the other week where it's like you can do all this different stuff with potatoes with it. It's like it has like this little grate thing. So like we made hash browns the other day. It actually didn't come out that great, but it was our first time trying to make them. So it has like this hash brown grate, and you just take the potato and you just go back and forth on it, and it just makes like these perfect like hash browns, like the kind that they have at like a diner or something. And then it has a thing where you can like slide the potato up and down, and you can make your own fries. And I think you can make like your own chips and stuff with it. So, you know, I think it's better, you know, if you want something like that, to make your own, and you know, find a way that's not, you know, time consuming to do it.
I mean, yeah, like like me in person, like in like, you know, buying like tortilla wraps. You know, they get kind of expensive over time, you know, and I'm thinking about trying to make my own, but I think that's a bit too time consuming for me. I don't know if I can do that. I mean, like something to do every now and again, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny how like, you know, as time goes on, when you embark on like a certain type of lifestyle, like whether it's vegan or vegetarian or whatever it is that you do or get involved in, like hip hop or whatever, and how you kind of become somewhat of an expert in it, and like you can look at things and see through the bullshit of certain things like that, whereas like the lay person might not be able to. So like somebody might come up to you with something like, oh yeah, this is healthy, and I guess one of those types of things is like, you know, when people say, oh yeah, this is fat-free, you know, and, you know, they really think they're doing something that's healthy. And then, you know, you might have to, like, school them and be like, you know, look at the ingredients. Yeah, it's fat-free, but it has all kind of glycerides and monotoxins and whatever multisyllabic words on the back. And you know, it might be fat-free, but it still has all kind of salt and whatever else that they're trying to replace, you know, whatever pleasure that you get from fat with. And you actually need fat. Like, that's not what the problem is. The problem is, you know, too much fat for the amount of exercise that you're getting and all that other type of stuff. And so, I know that you were saying about the Indian dude in Subway asking you for pointers and tips and stuff like that. And, you know, I've noticed in my life, you know, especially like when I go to Subway, I go different places and people start to notice, you know, my eating habits. I end up getting into random conversations with people about this topic. And, you know, somebody might notice that I might get like a veggie wrap from like a Royal Farms or like the Veggie Delight. I'll either get the sub or I'll get the chopped salad. And I always get into some type of long conversation with somebody asking for some pointers or something like that. So, do you get that a lot in your life?
In Baltimore, it's not exactly common, but it's not uncommon. So, I mean, it's kind of like in between here and there, but like here, no, not really. I mean, like, usually if I eat seaweed somewhere, then people will say something. But I personally thought like seaweed was like, you know, like, I thought seaweed was a part of like, you know, one of those, you know, like one of those diet fads, like with like coconut water and shit like that nowadays.
Yeah.
But apparently not.
Well, not yet.
Yeah, at least not yet, or at least here, I don't know. But like when I am asked like certain questions, I get like really uncomfortable because they ask you these questions, and you know I'm trying to figure this shit out my damn self. Like for example, I meant to tell you this too. I think the past 3-4 times I've been to the market, I haven't bought anything soy based. But I still do. I'm pretty sure I get like a pretty decent amount of soy through, you know, through like my buying coffee and stuff like that. But you know, like they have like Starbucks. They do coconut milk now, and I don't know if I can do it. Like I did what you told me, and I got the almond milk that didn't have any type of like sweet. It was just regular straight almond milk.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I mean, I mixed it with coffee, like when I made coffee here the other day, and it wasn't bad. But I mean, I still would rather have soy milk. But I mean, it's not bad though. It's decent enough. But you know, I mean, I don't mind almond milk. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna try to just stay away from soy, at least in my house, and just just deal with it when I go to Starbucks or something. I get like a latte.
Yeah, and I think there's, like a lot of things you can't really be like super strict with it. Like even when I was eating meat, I always had this kind of policy of, when it comes to red meat, I won't have it in the house, but if I'm out, I might indulge in it. And that was my way of, limiting my intake of it. But like I might have like some chicken in the house or something like that. Or like, some fish. So like with certain things, like with soy, pretty much the only soy that I get, for the most part, is when I get Chinese food. And I might get, what I've been getting recently is like I'll get mixed vegetables with bean curd, or what they call it. I guess some places call it bean curd, some places just call it tofu, whatever. So like that tofu type stuff, that's pretty much, on the rare occasion when I get some Chinese food, that's pretty much my soy thing.
I wonder in economically challenged areas, I wonder if like the Chinese food stores around there, if they started switching up and they started having like bean curd and stuff like that. Because in certain like Chinese food stores, from what I can remember coming up, there really wasn't. Sometimes you would see bean curd, but a lot of times you wouldn't. It'd just be all straight, meat and stuff like that.
Well, you know what? A lot of places don't have it on the menu, but if you ask for it, they have it.
Okay, yeah, so it's pretty much the same story with every place. That every damn, I told you about my story about that one time, like here, when they didn't have anything. And I couldn't eat shit, really. Only like some french fries, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
That was horrible. But yeah, that's interesting, though.
Yeah, because I've been going to the Chinese spot, up here at Hilltop, like Rogers and Ricerstown Road, in a little shopping center. And it's, I'm not sure if they have it on the menu or not, but, I just asked for it and they have it. And, I guess recently I've been frequenting various Chinese places in economically challenged areas, and I just asked for it. And I like that word. I like that phrase, economically challenged areas.
I was going to just come out and say, hood, but I figured maybe I should try to switch it up.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting, like, when you think about a food desert, and then you think about, how, like, a lot of times these places that are food deserts, they always have the Chinese food spot. And, really, if you try hard enough, you can eat pretty healthy from a Chinese food spot. Like, if you get if you just get, like, the mixed vegetables with, like, some rice and, don't get any of that crazy-ass sauce on it, that's a pretty decent meal.
Yeah, but the first thing people complain about is that they don't get enough duck sauce or whatever like that.
Okay, so this is my question. What is duck sauce?
Well, I do know now it doesn't come from duck.
Okay.
But it's literally some type of like sauce that's made with like some type of sugar. I know that much.
Okay, I might try it just to see how. I've never tried duck sauce before.
It's really sweet. I'm
not into and I guess this is one thing that kind of probably annoys my girl. I've never really been into just trying things that I don't know what it is or what's in it. So like salad dressing, I don't think I've ever really had salad dressing until this year. When, she gave me Italian dressing and we looked at the ingredients and, found that, this particular brand was vegan because, Kraft for some reason has some type of milk in it. But like when it comes to like, people eat like ranch and stuff like that, I don't even know what other type of dressings, but when you tell me something like ranch, I don't know what that is. So why am I going to put this weird stuff? Like it doesn't tell me the flavor of it. It doesn't tell me what's in it, how it's going to taste. All I know is ranch. When I think of ranch, I think of cattle and just dirty, just dirt. So why am I going to pour this on my lettuce? And,
hey man,
throughout my life, I've never had the urge to put that. Isn't it white?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna put some creamy white liquid called ranch on my green vegetables.
And it has like black dots in it, like black specks.
Yeah. So it's like dirty white creamy liquid all over my vegetables.
I mean, well, you did have. I mean, you've had plenty of Italian dressing. I mean, from like my pasta salad and stuff like that.
Okay, but see, okay. So yeah. So I guess I didn't even know that, but if it's coming from you, I trust it.
Yeah, because it is interesting because like at first, before I got deep into it, I would get like the Kraft like years ago, like while I was doing college and I realized that it had some type of weird milk in it. So then I just gave it all away. And then for some reason, like the off-brand things with Italian dressing, they never have any type of milk in it. It's weird.
Mm.
And actually, it tends to be way better to me personally. And you get a big-ass thing of it for like $1 and some change.
That's what's good, yes. And like sometimes it's like, why is there milk in this? Like, I don't understand, like, what's the purpose? Like, what is this doing?
I mean, maybe, I don't know, like, the consistency of it, like, how, you have, like, the 4 senses, and then you have, like, with the extra sense, there's 5 senses? Like, the 5 things of taste.
Oh, I've been meaning to look this up. It's what? It's, sour,
sweet, salty. I think it's 4, right? And then it's like the other one's like umami or something else, I think.
I don't know. Sour, sweet. What do we say? Sour, sweet.
Sour, sweet, salty.
Maybe spicy.
Oh, hold on. Oh, it's shit. Oh, here you go. NPR article, of course. They know everything. Sour is a sour, sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. I think we had a conversation about this article some years ago. About like the guy who created it.
Yeah.
Umami. So some type of like chef in Paris, apparently, he kind of came up with. Yeah, so he came up with the idea because apparently what he had, it wasn't sweet, bitter, sour, or salty.
Mm.
It wasn't a combination. But then it's interesting though because have you seen Jiro Dreams of Sushi?
Nah.
Okay, well, have you heard about it?
I see it pop up on Netflix all the time. But
yeah,
what's it about?
I watched it the other day, and it's about this sushi chef, and he's like world famous, but like really only like amongst like foodies, and he's like that like big book that comes out I think like from France about like all of like the places that you have to eat at.
Yeah.
And I think he's appeared in it maybe like 2 or 3 times in a row, whatever like that. And his sushi restaurant. It's like it's a simple store. It's kind of like one of those like walk-in restaurants, like in the subway, like in like one of the subway stations or whatever like that. And you gotta have reservations, and like it's like a lot of money. Like it's pretty expensive, like to go to. And then it pretty much takes you behind the scenes of like like what they do, like the guy's life, how he's trying like to train his son, who's like his senior apprentice or whatever like that, when he dies, take over his restaurant, and the other people that they have who are working there. So like apparently, like for example, if you want to work for them, you pretty much you kind of can, as long as they can see some type of work ethic in you. But the first thing you do is that you have to like set out the towels for like the people who come, and the towels like really really hot. And so you have to be able to wring out like pretty much this hot ass towel, wring it out, and then like place it gently, like I guess gently on like the person's plate or whatever it is. And apparently the water is so hot that it takes like years or like quite a bit of time for anyone like to do without like without wincing or whatever like that. And then it's not until you finally complete that, then you're able to like to start like learning how to cook. But then even with that, I think you can only like crack eggs. That takes maybe like 2-3 years to complete. It's really like it's crazy. But he was talking about the term umami, and he was like kind of talking about like what it means. And he said that the term pretty much means that you have all of the flavors like all compacted within like this one thing, and they're all like evenly placed, which is like really hard to do. And then you get that feeling that it's like a certain sensation. So to him, that's what it meant.
It's always interesting, like just the Asian perspective on certain things, and how it seems like when it comes to a lot of things, they have this ambiguous term that's like supposedly like mad deep, but it's hard to grasp, because when you think about putting all those things together in equal parts, the thing that I'm thinking of is, how do you measure it? Like, is there a measure for sweetness or bitterness or sourness or something like that? Is there like a unit?
No, you just gotta know how to do it. And the thing and I'm pretty sure the main reason why they had like a documentary on this man is because he's won like these numerous awards for his sushi. And the thing is, though, he still hungers to learn more about it and how to make it even better. And mind you, he's been doing this shit for like 50 years or 60 years. Well, he's been doing it since he was like maybe 13, and he's like in his 80s now. A really long time. And he says like he still like wakes up, he dreams of sushi. He'll wake up like 5 in the morning, hours before he has to get up, and he'll just start working on different ideas of how to make the sushi better. Different techniques for the rice and so on and so forth.
That's wow. That's dedication right there to his art. I wonder, because like I wonder, like how like a lot of times you'll make beats or whatever, and you might have this idea, and you might go through 5 different beats before you make one that's good, where you like perfect a certain technique or something like that, or you might make a whole bunch of beats trying to perfect some type of technique, and it just doesn't work, and you just throw it out and never come back to it. So I wonder how many of his techniques that he gets these ideas from actually get incorporated into his recipe or his regimen of making the sushi, and how much doesn't.
That's a good question. I mean, I know that he says like with time, like certain things just kind of like make sense. So like for example, I think with like with the seaweed or whatever it is that they do, it's something that like octopus. the way they do the octopus when they make, I guess, any type of sushi thing that has octopus in it, it's massaged for like 30 minutes under like water or something like that. And originally he said that when he was like trained, he was like told maybe like 10, 15 minutes. But then he did like 20, and then he felt as though it wasn't hard enough, so then he pushed to 30. And I think sometimes if it isn't right enough, then he'll have him do it for even longer until like it's like soft enough. And that's something that like one of like the people who are under him, that's what they do. They just sit around and they just damn near just massage octopus all day. And apparently it's a really grueling task, like to massage like a big ass octopus. But apparently he loves his job, so I mean he loves doing it. And he had like a heart attack, and he quit smoking after a while. And the thing was, like, he had like a heart attack when he was trying to get like fish from the fish market for his restaurant. And you know, he said he went stir crazy when he was like in the hospital. He couldn't wait to get back to work. And he said it's pretty much like something's gonna have to happen to him, like that pretty much tells him he just can't work anymore until he stops.
That's dedication. I'm wondering how big is an octopus?
They're like the ones on that, they weren't all that big, but like if you think about massaging something for like 30 minutes, like imagine massaging like the human body, right? But then you have like a specific area that, you know, like the person's back is fucked up, something like that, or you just massaging someone's shoulders after they go off work or something. You're massaging like the tentacles, like the head of the octopus, so you have to like make sure all these things are like evenly soft, I guess, in a way. And I think that's harder to do than I guess trying to get like a knot out of someone's back.
Yeah, because like to do that, you would have to, you know, to be good at it, you have to massage octopus, or I don't know what the plural octopus is, but
I think it's octopus.
Okay, you would have to massage octopus to a point where you are familiar with the anatomy of the octopus through your hands. Because, like, you know, when you are massaging a person, you kind of know, because they have the same parts as you, you kind of know what spots to hit and all that other type of stuff. But when you think of a sea creature with 8 tentacles and a completely different structure, like, it just kind of boggles my mind. Like, do they even have bones?
I don't know. I don't think they do.
Like, just, you know, when you talk about the years of it, I'm just fascinated. And I have to watch this documentary because, like, for you to know how to massage this weird alien-like creature, to get it to the right softness on all 8 tentacles, that just seems amazing to me.
And I mean, like, the only thing I had about the documentary was that, like, toward the end, you know, there was, like, when, I think, like, the oldest son was at the fish market, apparently he just randomly kind of just starts talking about how it's hard to get good fish now, and then they kind of get into this whole thing about, you know, environmentalism and how people are killing off all the fish. And I'm pretty sure there was some type of weird, you know, environmental spin that the director or creator, whoever it was, wanted to put into it. And it just went on for like kind of too long to me personally.
It might have been like one of the sponsors or something like that. Maybe like if you want to get this money, you have to, you know, do something for the cause.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I mean, overall, yeah, it was a good documentary. I mean, just like to show someone who has such dedication, and I was going to say like something so simple, but I mean, like being like, you know, in like sushi, being in a sushi restaurant, like seeing like, you know, a sushi chef, it was pretty interesting, you know, like the time they take, and, you know, I'm assuming that The one I went to, it wasn't, and it wasn't like it wasn't a restaurant like his. I know that much. So, I mean, even like the dedication that he alone took for doing that, and he's not even considered a five-star sushi chef, was amazing.
I mean, when you think about something like sushi, like this is something I actually kind of do regularly. It's kind of amazing to me because, it might be out on the platter and you have this whole platter of these tiny, almost intricately designed rolls with all these different elements in a small package that looks like it had to take time and care just to make one small one. And you have like a whole platter of, dozens of them. And it's like, it does seem like it takes a lot of dedication to do it even on the lowest level.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, man, like even in the documentary, he was talking about how he has, like, it's a certain type of rice that he buys, and he only buys from, like, people, like, when it comes to fish and, like, rice, he only buys from people who actually know their craft, people who know more about these things than he does. And so he trusts them. And then he buys some type of rice that he didn't even name the type of rice that he buys, but he says, like, the type of rice he gets is really hard to cook. And apparently over all these years, he's mastered how to maintain this rice at room temperature. Because he says that, when you eat sushi, it has to be at room temperature anyway. So there's some type of weird shit that he does with, like, the rice, and then you gotta put it, like, within some type of, like, weird basket, and then put it within another basket, and then put some type of cloth over it. And it seems kind of simple, but yet intricate. But then apparently it took him almost like 20 years to understand, like, learn and figure out.
And it's interesting because when he dies, all that knowledge is going to be gone unless he's, like, thoroughly documented it somewhere.
It's all within his son.
Okay.
And so, like, apparently, like, the French people came, like, to do, like, their little book again, and, it was said that, like, the man, like, Jiro, he didn't cook. He didn't make the sushi, his son did. And it still got, like a 3-star rating. So, based on that, I guess it's pretty much assumed that once he dies, the son will be able to keep it. And mind you, the son is 50, and the son expected to take over the restaurant years ago. But there's another son too. But since he's the youngest one, he went on and he started his own restaurant because it's a Japanese thing, custom where the oldest son has to takes the father's place. Yeah, so he's been there for I think he's been there since he was like a teenager.
Well, hopefully he's passionate about that, at least as much as his father was, because if not, that sucks to be born into a profession that you hate like that.
Well, yeah, he talked both of his sons out of going into college, but apparently I think they had the choice, but he talked them out of doing it and just working at the restaurant with him. But apparently he has a passion for it. He said at first he didn't, but now he does. And then there's like this other guy they had on there, and he made his way up like past cracking eggs, and he was doing like the egg sushi. I never knew they even had egg sushi, but it looks like a cake. And he said that it took him like almost 10 years to perfect making egg sushi, and then he said when he got it right, and he told me he got it right, he started crying. Like, god damn, man. Oh my god, I can only imagine. I fuck around and cry too. 10 years.
For some damn sushi.
Yeah, and I mean that's not even like the main stuff. That's egg sushi. He hasn't even gotten to the actual fish and octopus yet. Yeah.
And it's crazy because and this used to be my problem with cooking, is that you spend so much time on something that's going to be gone in the blink of an eye almost, or the gnashing of your teeth. So it's like, damn, I'm spending all this time trying to perfect this, and it's just going to be gone. And that was one of my deterrents for, cooking. And here you have a guy who is spending 10 years to perfect one particular style of sushi, which you can just pop in your mouth and it's gone in a matter of 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And, on top of that, there's no real glory from that. I mean, like, he's in a documentary that's on Netflix, but, that there's probably no wiki page on him right now.
That's true.
And so, I don't know. I mean, I know that type of thing doesn't matter to everybody, but, you're spending 10 years of your life doing this, and there's no wiki page about you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, I think that's the majority of people, well, a lot of people at least, that, they have a particular career and they spend 10 years on it and they finally get to where they want to be and no one really cares. Maybe people within that field, so who knows, maybe, at least within the realm of sushi, or the way he does it, it's expected for one, after a while, you go on and you start your own restaurant. You're not supposed to stay there. So maybe he can find glory and have a documentary like how this guy does, but apparently this guy, he didn't really expect for this to be going on. He just liked to make sushi. And just wanted to make it as best as he could. But then I think sushi overall though, it's really I don't know, maybe, well, I'm sure this is kind of like a westernized view of things, but it seems like it's really like a foodie type of thing. Because, if I get a thing of sushi, like six pieces, I'm not going to be full. Although I do know that's where a bowl of rice comes from and stuff like that, but I'm still not really satisfied. So sometimes I feel like when I do get sushi, I'm really just getting it because I just like the taste of it. And, I don't really like to go over that all the time. I haven't had sushi in a long time though, but.
I mean, recently I've been going to Hibachi Grill, which is a Asian buffet, and they have a little sushi bar in the back. And I can't lie, I go in on the sushi and I get my fill.
I mean,
I've gotten my fill on sushi though, because there's a nice sushi spot in Mount Washington that I go to called Chayo Sushi. Did we ever go there?
No, I think we went right next door to drink.
We did actually, yeah.
Okay.
To the Mount Washington Tavern. But yeah, I like to go to Chayo Sushi, and you just order your food, and might be kind of, I don't know, I guess it's kind of expensive, but to get a proper fill of sushi, but I've gotten pretty full off of it myself. Of course, I'm getting the vegetarian sushi these days.
Oh yeah, is that a California roll? I can never remember the fuck they call it nowadays.
I don't know. I just it usually just says vegetarian sushi, or they might have some other type of name for it or something like that. But yeah, I mean, sushi was one of the only things that I really missed after my switch to vegan. But I do find the vegetarian sushi satisfying, especially, going to a nice sushi spot where you have the atmosphere of it and everything, where they bring you your towel and, you're eating it with your chopsticks, and you get your little bowl where you can mix up the wasabi with the soy sauce or whatever and dip your sushi in there. So.
I mean, yeah, that, and then you can get like like one of those like I think a sake. Yeah. And stuff like that.
I usually get the Sapporo.
Oh yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, and then they have the stereotypical Asian music playing faintly in the background.
Well, I mean, I think LA is a bit different. They don't do that because there's so many. It's such a large Asian population. I guess they don't have to do that. Like to really get that atmosphere. And at one point I was the only non-Asian person there. Sometimes when I would go, and you get like a side. They had like $2, like $3 sake bombs on Tuesday and shit on Thursday, and then you get fucking sake. And I don't know. I remember one time I felt like I was in like 5W Venice or some shit like that. I know that sounds super stereotypical. I know it does, but I felt like I was
thinking about that when you were talking about the sake, and I was thinking about what was it? I think the movie that had the Old Dirty Bastard in it. Was it that one? It was one of those kung fu movies we watched. And there was some guy who was always getting drunk off of sake.
Are you talking about the lizard? Not in the 5W. I can't think of his real name though. But when he would just take like the big ass jugs and start like just killing them.
Yeah.
I think that was the kid with the golden arm.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, man, like I just felt like, I had the chopsticks, I had like the sake, and I was pouring it, and I'm like, I felt like I was in like a scene, like from 1979, I was waiting for someone like to come here and try to fuck with me.
Oh man, speaking of that,
feeling is here. Yeah, son, you feel it, man. What up, son? You gotta just do it, yo. Yeah, man. Yo, what up, man? It's different channel, son. What up, on, man. What up? Watch the channel, son. Different plane now, man. It's all good. What up? All good, baby, in every hood, son. What up? Yo,
CNN Network Channel 10. It's on again. Street niggas is grown men. Bold face, gat in your face. Stay in place, yo. Crime lace. Cats more beef than Scarface. CNN Network Channel 10. It's on again. Street niggas is grown men. Bold face, gat in your face. Stay in place, yo. Crime lace. Cats more